Hi everyone, I just made a longer video on emotional authority and sacral authority and some of the differences, especially in relationships. And I would like to do a bit of a summary here for all of us. So what I have realized is that when you have sacral authority in a relationship, for example, when you feel like something's off with the other person, there's always a reason. It's not a moodiness that comes from nowhere. No, there is something that's happened, something is up, and then that's a consequence of that. And even if that person with sacral authority might tell you, no, it's fine. No, there, if you go deeper and if they are ready to open up, there's always going to be a reason. And then when it comes to the emotional authority, what I also learned, I actually learned this specifically through somebody I was dating. And that was that some days the emotional authority just wakes up and it feels off. And there is no specific reason for that. There is an emotional wave, and it depends on your chart. It depends on what that emotional center connects to, where it's center, what's the channel. There are going to be different kinds of waves. Some of the waves are more peaking, and some are like harder to even understand as a wave. But there is a wave, and some days it's just going to show itself. And for me, what I realized in that relationship and what was communicated is that it didn't have anything to do with me. It even didn't have anything to do with anything. My partner wouldn't even know why he woke up like that. And it also made it easier for me to kind of be rejected. My core wound in the gene keys is the fourth line, which is the rejection one. So if I knew that he woke up and he felt like that and we wouldn't do maybe what we had planned to do, I could relax because I'm like, okay, that's just the emotional wave. It's nothing to do with me. And I'm resourceful, so I could do something else. So I learned to live that kind of changing weather of the emotional authority. And that was healing. I have a completely open emotional center. So when I think that something is going on and it has to do with me, I have this feeling of having to do something to make it better. And that's partly the not self. And also my motivation is hope. So when I am in transference, I want to fix everything. I feel guilty for something that's wrong. And then I'm doing everything to make it better. So when I could just accept, okay, it's not my fault, and I just have to be flexible and allow the person to be in that wave, because I know that if I'm trying to override a wave, which I can't, because the emotional authority is always more powerful, there's no way of me to fight with a wave. So to just learn that and let it go. And I think that that's something that I have a harder time doing when there's something with sacral authority or undefined emotional, because then I really want to get to the point of what it is, and I want to fix it, because I know that if there is a logical reason, there must also be a way that we can get out of it. And I can even see myself going into in different frequencies. Like some ways of doing it are really constructive, and some ways of doing it, when that emotional open center in me gets kind of desperate, why does it feel this bad, it can even be on a lower frequency. And I feel like it is important to understand how different it must be to live with open emotional, or completely open, as in my case, or a defined emotional center. And we have 49% of the population with undefined emotional and 51% with defined emotional. So defined emotional center is more, it's more prevalent. And if we think about us as humanity, we are emotional, because everyone that has an open emotion is actually amplifying the emotional energy. And the emotional center is both a motor and an awareness center. So that's what makes it also super, super powerful. So where we are going into in the inner circle, where I made that video for, is the solar plexus center, or we call it solar plexus hub. And it's going to have to do with relationships and with emotional intelligence. Because I was also saying in the other video that when I am around an emotional authority that takes responsibility for their emotions, for their wave, for what's going on with them, I feel really safe, because I'm used to so many people that didn't even know about their emotional wave. And then, of course, if they don't have awareness, how can they act in the highest possible way? And I have both my parents are emotional authority. My dad is a 1-3, my mom is a 5-1. she's a projector, he's a manifesting generator. So I feel, that kind of emotional soup that I was in for many years with those profiles that are very different from mine, it has made me shy away from the emotional authority. And now I'm learning that it can feel really good, it can feel really safe. And there is also just an acceptance for emotions moving through. And that is kind of new for me. Almost with all my partners, at least all my longer term relationships, it's been open emotional. And I've it's how I have felt safest until now. And also possibly that illusion that if it's a sacral authority, if something's off, I can fix it. I cannot override the emotional authority, but if it's a sacral authority, I can look at what's being amplified and I can do something about it. So if you're interested in coming with us, diving into this Solar Plexus Center, Solar Plexus Hub for the next month, you can still sign up for the inner circle. If you want to be with us just for this, it's usually $44, but I believe that Ashley made a code so that you can get in for 22. So that is super low priced. And I would love you to come in, because I think relationships and emotional intelligence are things that are just super, super important in how much we can feel fulfilled in our lives, and so with how much harmony we can co-create in this world. So I would love you to come with us on the journey.